Welcome back to my channel Celebuzz. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. The life biography of Parker Schnabel reads like this. From being on a friend's sofa to controlling a $15 million gold mine, an upcoming film script. This mining genius had already mined more than $13 million worth of gold from the freezing tundra of Alaska by the time he was 24 years old. The wages he gives his employees today exceed the yearly salaries of most doctors, and the cars he drives are worth more than the typical American house. However, Gold Rush only covers a small portion of Parker's quest. The entire explanation behind his relationship's demise, as well as his wild Vegas vacations, expensive cars, and personal troubles, are revealed. A far more profound narrative, to codgers and fertile roads. Her dying safety is forbidden from soracles. From there, it shifted to fernial trails. The actual reason his relationship was in a gold rush, as well as his wild Vegas vacations, expensive automobiles, and personal problems. Come and see why Parker Schnabel is one of the most intriguing success stories in reality TV as we delve into the incredible journey of the youngest mining millionaire on television. Parker had an exceptional destiny that was laid up by his one-of-a-kind upbringing. Parker began working actual heavy machinery at his grandfather's Alaskan mine when he was just 5 years old, when other youngsters his age were playing with toy trucks. This was no fairy tale. Here at the operational Big Nugget mine, Parker learnt the ropes from his grandpa, John Schnabel. Parker honed abilities that few ever achieve as a child living in a small town of only 1,700 people encircled by harsh terrain. The hard winters and short summers of Alaska honed his skills in self-sufficiency and problem-solving. You were the one who had to mend things when they broke. In the far border, there was no way out. As his friends engaged in more ordinary childhood pursuits, Parker was busy learning the ins and outs of earth movement, crew management, and the valuable yellow gold that would turn him into a fortune. When Parker was 16 years old, he faced a significant obstacle in his life. In 2016, at the age of 96, John Schnabel saw his grandfather's health decline. Every part of me felt this loss. It puts the burden of running the family business on the youthful shoulders of Parker. Homework and romance are the two biggest concerns among teenagers. Out of nowhere, Parker found himself in charge of a whole mining operation. Parker stunned his friends and family by shockingly deciding against attending college. He put everything $663,000 he had saved for education into mining equipment. This wasn't careless defiance by adolescent rebels. It was a strategic business decision that revealed his faith in himself and his plans for the future. Television producers had their doubts about Parker's ability to command a mining team as a teenager, but he soon proved that his tremendous talent and dedication more than made up for his young. While in the Klondike, Parker showed his extraordinary talents by accomplishing goals that experienced miners twice his age had failed to meet. Even though it would have broken most individuals, Parker and his crew managed to recover 1,029 ounces of gold, which is worth more than $1.7 million. His extraordinary resilience in the face of adversity was more of a secret than good fortune. Because of the short window of time when the earth wasn't completely frozen, Parker became an expert at making the most of the restricted mining seasons. He outmanaged miners with decades of expertise thanks to his intimate familiarity with the landscape and his great managerial abilities. This solidified Parker as a true phenomenon in the mining sector. It was not only remarkable, but also unprecedented for someone so young. When Parker bought Dominion Creek for $15 million when he was only 28 years old, it was the turning point in his career. The significant danger was accompanied by the rumor that this land could hold as much as $200 million worth of gold. Parker had to harvest 10,000 ounces per season for 6 years to achieve financial stability. Never before had Parker's determination been put to the test, like it was in the early days at Dominion Creek. He was on the verge of seeing his entire project ruined by faulty machinery, frozen ground, and spiraling expenses. While lesser miners might have given up on the project in the face of such formidable obstacles, Parker exhibited the characteristic level-headed resolve that had made him famous. He spent an extra $540,000 on water pumps to enhance gold recovery when traditional methods failed. Despite the high stakes involved, Parker maintained an eye on the prize. Long-term success, not immediate gratification. Even with all his planning, Parker's adventure was about to encounter its worst part. Dominion Creek was spiraling into a money pit by the beginning of 2025. Parker went $2.5 million in the red due to equipment failures, weather delays, and unforeseen costs. Most would have punched their card when their creditors started ringing and their funds started to dry up. Parker opted for the inverse strategy. He increased his investment by spending an extra $2.5 million on 2 more mining claims: Sulphur Creek and Gold Run. His colleagues mistook Parker for a lunatic, but his gamble paid off. His crew found a substantial amount of gold, 141,650, in only 2 days after starting work at Sulphur Creek. This finding revitalized the operation and proved that Parker's success had been due to his readiness to take measured risks. Transporting massive machinery over 25 miles of rough terrain was no easy feat. For many, the logistical challenge seemed insurmountable, but Parker's indefatigable self-assurance saved his entire enterprise in the end. Despite Parker's thriving career, the pressures of his work frequently took a toll on his personal connections. Ashley Ewell, an Australian veterinary nurse whom Parker met in 2016, became an integral part of his life and mining admiration quite immediately. Their 2-year romance ended after Parker's hectic schedule became too much for them to handle. Parker, in an unprecedented display of sensitivity, said that neglecting Ashley was among his deepest regrets. After they broke up, Parker was allegedly involved with British TV personality Sheena Cowell, although she denied the reports. By 2020, Parker and Tyler Mahoney, an Australian gold prospector, will have developed a strong rapport on Gold Rush. Even though Parker kept his professional distance, his trail sparked much suspicion. The difficulty of maintaining a balance between his public profile and his need for solitude is exemplified by his unwillingness to talk about his private life. When tragedy struck while filming Gold Rush Season 15 in the middle of 2024, Parker's career was at a crossroads. His business lost out on over $2.3 million worth of gold that could have been recovered on June 12th due to a disastrous equipment malfunction. A further $1.5 million in wasted time and money due to permits prompted a 17-day shutdown a few days later. Through the month of August, Parker's once substantial financial reserves had diminished to a mere $78,000, scarcely sufficient to sustain operations for an additional week. Tragically, Parker pawned his grandfather's prized 1957 Chevrolet Bear, a treasure that had been in his family for generations, revealing the extent of his desperation. Just enough to cover salaries and keep the firm afloat was the $115,000 profit from the sale. On August 28th, Parker convened a hasty team meeting despite being in a precarious situation. In a bold move, he told his team they may go without facing any consequences, being completely forthright about the fact that he might not have the money to pay them if they stayed. It was in this instant that Parker's character and the devotion he bestowed upon others were laid bare. Despite the uncertainty, 3 important team members, including Mitch Blaschke, stayed and worked for 2 weeks without compensation. The team's confidence in Parker was rewarded on September 7th with a fantastic pay streak. In just 1 week, they recovered $1,872 of gold, which is worth nearly $3.5 million. This incredible turn of events prevented the operation's failure and turned what seemed like an inevitable setback into one of Parker's biggest triumphs. Despite an estimated net worth of over $110 million, Parker surprisingly lives a humble lifestyle. Having a house in the Yukon and a functional 2,000-square-foot Alaskan home with 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms is more important to Parker than buying mansions in Beverly Hills or collecting exotic cars. Although his collection of vehicles is amazing, it is more for practical reasons than for show. For the rough terrain where he works, he has a customized Ford Raptor, Mercedes-Benz Wagon, Jeep Wrangler, and modified Chevrolet Silverado. Rather than investing on tangible goods, Parker would rather take his crew on adventures, such as hunting trips, Vegas weekends, or trips abroad. Among similarly successful television personalities, this choice shows that he prioritizes relationships and memories over money. Parker solidified his position as one of the most successful reality stars of television with a record-breaking $24 million earned at the end of Gold Rush Season 14. Parker makes around $100,000 every episode of Gold Rush money, on top of his mining revenue, which could easily support an expensive lifestyle if he wanted one. In contrast, Parker prioritizes the growth of his business over short-term gains, and he consistently reinvests most of his earnings. He has become one of the biggest landowners in the Klondike region thanks to this strategy, and his holdings are growing every year. Parker Schnabel's success isn't due to innate advantage or fortunate breaks, as we've witnessed throughout his incredible journey. It is the result of incredible perseverance, smart risk-taking, and unwavering faith in his mission, even in the face of insurmountable challenges. From a little lad running the gears at his grandpa's mine to a mining mogul overseeing a multi-million-dollar company, Parker's narrative shows that age is nothing compared to guts, skill, and determination. Parker discovered his calling at a young age and dedicated his life to following it, in contrast to the majority of people who spend their whole lives seeking meaning. So, how has Parker Schnabel been so successful? Discovering wealth isn't the only goal. It's about embracing your passion no matter your age or level of experience with the bravery to do what makes you happy. Being humble even when you achieve great success and taking measured risks while others are playing it safe are key. Even in 2025 and beyond, Parker's mining empire will continue to grow. And his story is a striking example of how great things are possible at any age when one has the correct mix of talent, drive, and perseverance. No one is asking if Parker will keep discovering treasure in the dirt. How far this extraordinary young man's star will go in the end is the question. What you learn about yourself along the hay can be more valuable than any gold you uncover in the dirt, according to Parker Schnabel and others like him.